Right. Probably the worst team in baseball, though they definitely lost them, just recently. DeMarcus Dodge, first pick they chose, a closer, 92 potential, 18 years old, hitting K per 9. That's really the only stat you really worry too much about with a closer. Home runs per 9, not too shabby. Pitching clutch, it's going to need work if he wants to continue to have the role of closer. Velocity and break, good. You can definitely work with that. Four-seamer, a slider, and a circle change. His pitch repertoire, 8 potential. You're not going to ever expect a bat in his hands. Next up, second baseman Glenn Moser, 85 potential switch hitter. Where are you guys getting these potentials from? How is he an 85? I don't understand this. These numbers don't shout out to me 85. Put the bat in his hands. He's okay, I guess, for a minor leaguer. Clutch is a little better. Not a bunter. Durability will probably keep him on the field. Fielding is not really there, so expect a lot of kickballs. Speed is okay. Pretty much only hits pitches either really away from him if you really sit there and think, no, inside of him, because he's a switch hitter. So as a lefty, those are balls away from him, and as a righty, those are balls also away from him. So if the ball is on the middle away, he's definitely able to hit it, as you can see by the hot and cold zone. Next, Robbie Randolph from Virginia, 20 years old. Hitting is all right, I guess. Doesn't hit very well. Strikes out a lot. Durability is good. Fielding is okay. He'll probably end up more playing a corner position, though, given some of these outfielders I've seen. Given his arm strength, he'll more likely just man center for a while. Good speed, okay base stealer. And yeah, that might be really his calling card, the ability to throw the ball hard to, a particular base and being able to run on the base paths. Next up, shortstop Frank Gonzalez, 21, Dominican Republic, 5'10", 212, bat in his hands, he's all right. Durability is probably going to keep him on the field. He definitely hits the middle and low pitches very well, righties and lefty-wise. Okay, fielder, yes. Arm strength up there, speed definitely up there, and is aggressive as hell on the base paths as a lefty pull hitter. Next, Guillermo Baez, 20 years old from Puerto Rico, switch hitter. As you can see, he is going to hit righties. He is a major league right-handed hitter. Lefties, not so much, or not really. Good vision, clutch and discipline. Probably one of the higher ones you're going to see from anybody in any of these drafts ever. Durability, okay, could use work. Arm strength, it's all right. Speed, meh. But again, that righty bat is what's going to keep him in the majors, I gotta say, if he ever gets to that point. John Robinette is next from Jamaica. Lefty throwing, righty batting extreme pull hitter, but he's a reliever. Hitting K per 9 are good. You can work with those. Home runs per 9, you can kind of work with that too. Control, 50, I mean, it's better than a lot of guys, especially with the velocity. 95 on a four-seam, a slider 88, changeup 84, curveball 81. Not a fielder, not a batter, but he's pretty much never going to get hurt, according to his health record. Hopefully I'm not violating HIPAA. And last but not least, Ken Reagan, 58 overall, 75 potential from California. Throws only 3 pitches, 2 of them fastballs. Well, depending on what you consider a splitter. 95 on the four-seamer, 90 on a splitter. The reason why I say that is because a guy like Alex Cobb throws a splitter. It's kind of more of a changeup. So is that more of a Vulcan change or a splitter? I don't know. I'll let Baseball Savant figure that out. Borderline, again, very borderline starter, 57 stamina. You might get 4 innings out of him. A 5th if he's efficient. Decent enough hit in K per 9 that, you can pitch him a decent amount. Velocity is good enough. Break, we're going to need some work. Fielding, just let one of the other infielders get it. And with the bat in his hands, don't bother. Why are they allowed to draft? They've got enough guys in the minors. These guys may all just sit in A-ball. That's how much talent the Dodgers have. We begin with starting pitcher Salvatore Castro, Puerto Rican righty pull hitter, though he's a starting pitcher. Elite stamina, good hit per nine. He's going to need to work on the rest of his per nines. Home run per nine isn't too bad. Control, going to need to work on controlling the way he wants to throw things. Velocity is all right. His break is good though, so he's going to hang his hat on the break because he's got a two-seam, changeup, slider, and a curveball. Arm strength is okay. Not much in the way of a bat, even though he will be on a National League team. Bruce Erasmus is up next. He's got borderline long reliever starter type stamina. His hit and K per nine, he don't need work. He's 19. His walk per nine, home runs per nine are good though. Like you can work with this. Velocity, damn good. Break, about average, a little above average. Throwing a four-seam slider, two-seam, changeup, curveball, good arm strength. Not much in the way of a bat, though he could bunt a little bit. He'll bunt you over, but don't ask him to bunt for a hit. And his durability is pretty high. Next is Robert Salem from Pennsylvania, only throwing 3 pitches, four-seam, changeup, 12-6. Per nines are actually good for a guy of his stature at 20 years old. Controls the baseball. Velocity is damn good. Again, he's only throwing 3 pitches. Arm strength is not too bad. Not going to hit. He's just a closer. His durability is up there. He may be the eventual replacement for Kenley Jansen. Next is Randall Heinlein. We'll get that at some point. Don't worry. I usually go to a pronunciation website to try to figure out people's last names. I just didn't do it for this one. Pennsylvania born, throws 4 pitches, good stamina, gonna need to work on his per nines. Cutter, changeup, 12-6 slider. I'm sure he'll work the cutter and the slider off of each other. Good velocity, solid break. He's a lefty with good arm strength. Durability, he's gonna suffer those nagging injuries and stuff like that. Maybe occasionally end up on the long-term IL. Next up is shortstop J.J. Bradley. Will he replace Corey Seager? Well, those batting numbers don't really say that. He's going to need to work on that, clearly. He'll stay on the field, though, but why would you put him out in the field at a 35 fielding with not much arm strength? Brady's the shortstop. You need to make a ton of long throws. You might just throw the second and maybe get really slow batters out as far as throwing first. Good speed. He is an elite base stealer and will probably give you issues just from that alone. He's a pull hitter. Expect to maybe see him up in a couple years if he can ever get that fielding or that bat together. San Diego Padres. Let's see. Let's look at what they got. All right, they've got one guy that's an 89 percentile, and the rest are kind of just solid hands. Let's see. Russell Cochran is a power hitting, in this sense, power hitting catcher, which is something honestly I haven't seen very much of in my 15 years of playing MLB the Show. 16 now. Good power against righties, even better against lefties. He might be a platoon guy. His vision, he's going to need to work on all of that. Dominican-born catcher. He's good enough fielder that you can put him out there. You can put him out there. He'll throw some guys out. Not everybody. His blocking is great. 80, meaning he's pretty much getting the overwhelming majority of balls, and they're not going to roll past him. That is a great pick for a team like the Padres. Next is Yusniel Ramirez, Puerto Rican-born reliever, throws 4 pitches, 2 fastballs of the 4 and 2-seam variety, slider, change up to mix in as well. Great K per 9 from a guy that's only 19 years old. He's gonna control the strike zone with a 65 walks per 9 with 52 control, which is not too shabby. Not gonna give up a ton of home runs. Velocity is good. He fields, but he doesn't throw all that hard, which we may not need to worry too much about that. Apologies, I got the hiccups. 6'5", 207. You'd think his arm would be a lot stronger than that, but you take what you can get from some of these guys. 78 durability, so he'll be able to work maybe an inning and 2/3, almost 2, depending on how efficient he is. Next is Eli Saucedo, 18 years old, Maryland-born lefty batter, righty throwing third baseman. He fields. That's pretty much all he does. He can field relatively well. Not much in the way of durability, so he'll be on the field some. You can spot start him. You can play him for a little bit. If a guy's got an injury for like 2 weeks or something, you can put him out there. Maybe not bat-wise, but if you're able to sacrifice that, you've got bats elsewhere in the lineup, this is your man. Next is Rick Farrar, 19 years old, Massachusetts, relief pitcher. Throws 3 pitches, 4-seam curveball, slider. Elite, or damn near elite. Ks per 9 for a guy coming out of the draft. Walks per 9. Yes. Home runs per 9. Good, very good in relative comparison to a lot of guys in the league, as he does control the strike zone. He doesn't throw all that hard, but 93 for a fastball is fine when you've got 79, 83 as your other 2 pitches on the curveball and slider respectively. Not much in the way of a bat, really. Durability is going to need some work. He's 19. And Brian Urbina, as previously mentioned, the 20-year-old Dominican-born pitcher, 59 overall, but a B potential. Okay. 66 stamina, so things don't seem to work out. He might be a reliever, though his per-nines don't really reflect that. Hard velocity, throwing a slider, changeup, cutter, and a 4-seam. It's got good enough break. He can field pretty well for a pitcher at 50. Not going to throw very hard. Not much in the way of a bat. His durability is not too high. Next, starting pitcher, Manny Sixto from Georgia, lefty, 19 years old, elite stamina. Hits per 9 is okay. Gonna need to work on the rest of them. Pitching, clutch, and control. You can kind of work with that. Velocity, he might not get over 90. He might not get 90, which is fine, unless you just love, hard throwing pitchers, which he's not your guy. Break 81, come on, that's crazy. Running fastball, slider, changeup, curveball, splitter. You are going to be chasing pitches with him, even if they're not that hard. So if maybe you can time some of these up. I really do think he might be more of a reliever, but we'll see about that in the near future. And we've got Edgar Ojeda, 22-year-old Dominican-born left fielder. He can bunt with the best of them. He's durable. He's fast. Don't ask him to do much else. He's not very good elsewhere. Apparently he hits righties well. We'll see about that because his numbers do not reflect that. Head just a little bit out west to one of our divisional foes, the San Francisco Giants, and these are the players they have mocked to them. First pick, 93 potential, Wes Sasaki from Japan. Not nearly as highly touted as a guy like, say, Otani or Ichiro, but it is what it is. He's actually coming to the States a bit younger than those guys did. He's okay with the bat in his hands. He can bunt all right. Durability is going to need some work. He's a lefty pull hitter. His fielding, I don't know how he's a right fielder, and unless the universal DH comes around, just not looking likely, at least not in this league. 38 fielding, 52 arm strength, 67, speed. So he can run a little bit on the base paths, if anything. Next up, Mackenzie Red from Maryland has good enough, per 9s that he could be borderline major league. Only throws 3 pitches, 4-seam changeup, slider, non-mouse, solid velocity. Fielding is actually good. Arm strength is even better. Bat in his hands don't bother. Good durability. Next we have Eric Mossey, not leaving the state of California. Again, about average for minor leaguers will go as far as his contact and power are concerned. Durability just not really there like that. 54, so he'll suffer some long-standing injuries. Fielding, not too shabby. His arm strength isn't really there, but playing in the infield, it's not the worst thing in the world if you don't have the strongest arm, maybe unless you play third. Speed, good, very good actually. You'll gladly take that from a 19-year-old player. Next up, Justin Gibbons, playing the exact same position, and hell, they went to the same school. They graduated just a year apart from one another. Went to a JUCO and actually got drafted. That which is an accomplishment in of itself. He is the better contact hitter of the two. Maybe a better fielder. I'd have to look back at that. Durability definitely better. He smokes righties, at least according to his the nine squares you got there. Speed not really there. So there's a give and take. The Giants just wanted to see, which one of these two is going to be better in the long run. Maybe neither one of them ever make it to the majors. Next up is Juan Aviles from the Dominican Republic. He's all right with a bat in his hands. Actually, he's really just kind of or not really that good. This just seems like a real bust type pick. Not even bust. I mean, you'd have to have high potential to be a bust. He's a D. He's basically a ball fodder at this point. Just a warm body in a roster spot, but you never know. We've been proven wrong by a lot of guys. Next up, Brad Verhoeven, the lefty throwing, righty batting left fielder from New York. He has great contact against righties and lefties. Has at least average, if not above average, power as far as major leaguers are concerned. This guy might be up at the majors very soon if it weren't for his fielding. His fielding is trash. 38? Come on, man. You got to field a little better than that. 63 speed might match that. Stealing, he can at least run the base pass. He is a bench bat, if not an American League DH. If anything, unless he can really, really work with a fielding coach. Shagging fly balls, being able to see the ball, in the air. I've played outfield. It's not as easy as they make it seem. At least not on TV. But it is what it is. At some point, we're going to get to us, and I believe we have the 6th pick in the draft. And granted, this is a mock draft. I ain't picked none of these dudes. But yeah, this is what they've got us taking in. I actually like what they put here. Granted, I don't like the fact it's so many. I mean, you can never go wrong with having, starters. Anyhow, let's just touch on it. Again, I didn't make these picks. First pick with Juan Marte. Good stamina. Is okay across the board in the per 9s. Clutch, just make sure he doesn't have anybody on base. Control is alright. Two-seam slider, splitter, curveball, which is a nice mix of pitches. Velocity is okay. Break is alright. Not much of a fielder. Arm strength is good. And don't put a bat in his hand unless he's bunting, because he is nice at it. Next up, Jimmy Jimenez. 84 potentials, 54 overall, 19 years old, from Pennsylvania, has elite stamina, needs to work on the per 9s. He's kind of average when it comes to giving up hits. He's not going to strike anybody out despite his pitch mix of a four-seamer, splitter, changeup, slider. Throws it relatively hard, by the way. Velocity, good. Break, good. Arm strength, good. Fielding, don't let him touch the baseball when it's a ground ball. Don't put a bat in his hands, though. His bunting is okay. Durability is definitely up there. So, again, might outlast some dudes. Next up, Sam Ross. 60 overall, 73 potential. Righty batting, lefty throwing from South Carolina. Throws a cutter, slider, splitter, and a curveball. Cutter coming in at 94. Stamina is actually pretty good for a closer, meaning you might be able to get a fair amount of 2-inning saves from him, as long as you're efficient. Hit per 9 solid. K per 9 is elite. Walks per 9, home runs per 9, Clutch, he's going to need to up that if he wants to become a closer in the majors. Again, velocity is good. Arm strength, damn good. Not very accurate, but how often is a closer going to field? Do not put a fucking bat in his hands. His durability is good, though. All right, next up, they've got us taking John DeMaria, 86 potential righty from Massachusetts. Damn good stamina, hits per 9, K per 9 are all right. Gonna need to work on the other two. Clutch is not really there. Control is okay. Velocity, good. Break, probably needs some work. Fielding, he's actually better than most. Coming in with a pitch repertoire of a 2-seam, curveball, changeup, and a splitter. Bat in his hands, he's good durability though. So, might see some time. Up at the higher levels of the minors if he can stay healthy. Next up, they've got to take in Diego Mendez from Nicaragua, lefty throwing, lefty batting, extreme pull hitter. He's got good contact from both sides. Power, gonna need some work. Vision and clutch are decent there. His durability is good enough. Fielding is actually not too shabby. His arm is, I wish he were a little more accurate to go with the 50. Arm strength, granted, he's not going to throw too many runners out. His reaction is definitely up there. He's got good speed and is able to steal a bag on the base paths, as he's pretty aggressive in that department. Next up, Hito Sato from Japan, righty, and as you can see, he is damn good as a lefty hitter. 77 contact, 31 power though. He's pretty much a contact hitting catcher. The problem is he does not field that well. His durability also isn't that great. His vision and clutch are there, but oh my goodness, if his defense was in the 50s, I'm sure he'd be a much higher pick than where they have him slated. Next up, left fielder Alfonso Ferreira. Again, another guy with a good bat in his hands, actually. Pretty good across the board. Contact, righty-lefty. Power, righty-lefty. Vision, good. Durability of the 94. Solid fielder. Damn good arm strength. Wish it were a little higher, but it is what it is. Speed is okay. And, yeah, I like this. That's I don't know why his potential is so low, though. That's a little much. But those are the guys they've got us slated to take in the 2021 draft.